Now we understand the tensor basics. The next important skill is to learn how to work between NumPy and PyTorch. So this is extremely common in real projects, especially when you're loading data or integrating existing code. So NumPy is widely used for data processing while PyTorch is used for deep learning. So knowing how to configure between them lets you combine the strengths of both flexibility and performance. The most important thing to remember is this: some conversions shared memory and some create a new copies. This affects the performance and behavior. So we will convert NumPy arrays to tensors, tensors back to NumPy, and look at common pitfalls you must avoid. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to support this channel. So let's start with the most common case, converting a NumPy array into a PyTorch tensor. So we import NumPy and PyTorch, create a NumPy array, and we use torch.from NumPy. So as you can see here, I have NumPy array. To convert it to a tensor, I have to use tensor.from NumPy, and this will output. Let's see this one here. This method is fast because it shares memories. So that means the NumPy array and tensor point to the same point. As it's like a pointer in a C++. So if you see here, I have a change the index, let's say the element 0 to 100. So, and I haven't touched, let's say, tensor shared, but because it's shared, it will change also the tensor. You can see here, this is the tensor 100, 2, 3, and the array, now NumPy array is 102, 3. So this is only works if a NumPy array is on the CPU and contiguous in a memory. You can see the similar, let's see, elements are close to each other, and this one here non-contiguous. In case you would like to use a for, let's say, create a copy, or let's say not using a shared memory, we have to use torch.tensor. So this torch.tensor will create a copy from a NumPy array and save it in a tensor, let's say, copy. And in this example here, if I just run this, and you can see it's the same as previous. So now if I change NumPy array, for example, this one here, the element the first element is 20, but as you can see now, the tensor itself is still have the old version before changing to 20. During the conversion from NumPy to Torch, you can also you specify the data type, for instance, float, long, float 32, and etc. One important aspect before moving to the PyTorch to NumPy. So sometimes you have, for instance, if you would like to convert from NumPy, you can use, as we said in the beginning, this or this. So what is the difference between torch to from NumPy and torch from to tensor? So this one you can see here is shared memory. This is the first shared memory, and it's a dangerous if you unexpected, let's say, changing in both directions. It's also in the beginning creating a CPU version and move it to the device. But this one here you can see it's moving this object, let's see, NumPy array directly to the device. So it's saving time and clean. Let's go to the other direction, converting a PyTorch tensor back to NumPy. So we use the .numpy method, and again this create a shared memory view, not a copy. So any changes to the tensor will affect the NumPy array and vice versa. So this is only work if the tensor on a CPU and has no required, let's see, gradient. So let me just go here, convert it to a NumPy array. Now this one here is, you can see tensor must be on a CPU and not required gradient. So imagine that you are working with this and you have created a GPU tensor with this type and on a device, and you have set gradient required as true. So now and try to convert tensor GPU to a NumPy. This won't work. Let me just show you this, and you can see here this error can't call a NumPy on a tensor that requires gradient. So use a tensor dot detach NumPy instead. So in this case, I will try to use this one here instead, and this should work. In real deep learning workflows, Tensors often track gradient or life on a GPU. So to safely convert them to NumPy, we use this pattern. NumPy and PyTorch work best together when you understand how to move data between them. Mastering these conventions will save you bugs, memory issues, and performance problems. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.